welcome back to my channel. So today I have a super highly requested video that I am so happy to bring to you guys, and that is an eye makeup tutorial. So a few weeks ago, it was my top 5 lip gloss, my top 5 lip balm, and I think my Walmart beauty box unboxing. I filmed all of those back to back, and I had the same makeup look, and I actually had this shirt on in all of those videos. And I got so many questions and so many requests from you guys to explain what makeup I was wearing. So instead of doing an entire tutorial on that, because let's face it, it would be like an hour-long tutorial, I decided to split it up. So last week I showed you guys my foundation. This week I'm going to show you guys the eye look, and then next week I'm going to show you guys the cheeks. And the cheeks is the most highly requested, so I kind of saved the best for last. So today I'm going to show you my eye makeup in that video, and the star of the show is the Too Faced Stardust palette. Get it? Star of the show. Stardust palette. No. Eye tutorials I somehow seem to always make blurry and get like a part of me out of the focus of the camera, so I'm sorry about that. I'll try my best to make that not happen this time. But I did already prime my eyes, so I primed my eyes before foundation. I always do it that way. So I used 2 different primers. The first one is the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I actually need to get a new one of these because this is almost gone. I even had to take the stopper out of it so I can like scrape it out. So in fact, if this goes up after my Sephora haul, I plan on buying one of these in my Sephora haul. So there's that, and then on top of that I have the MAC Paint Pot in the color Painterly. This is just a kind of pinky, cool toned cream eyeshadow which neutralizes all the veins and just makes your eyes have a nice clean, like even base. Okay, so I'm going to go into this color right here called Selfie. So this is like an iridescent, beige-ish, kind of like white color. It's so hard to explain, but it is so beautiful. And I'm going to apply that with a Sigma E55 eye shader brush. This is just like a flat eye shader brush. So I just pack that on and blend it out. Okay, so now for the crease shade, and I don't know why, I always do crease after all over lid color. That's just the way that I do it, but I'm gonna go in with this humongous blending brush. This is the Morphe E30, and I'm going to go into the color Millennial, which is a matte kind of fawn, warm, like orangish, yellowish brown. I don't know, but I'm going to apply this all over my crease, and I'm gonna blend it up pretty high. Not all the way to my eyebrow, but pretty high up there. So I'm not gonna stick like just to the crease. I'm gonna blend it really high out there. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Okay, so now that I got a good kind of base color and crease color going on, it's time to add some fun, dark pops of color. And so I will first go in with the color Double Tap right here, and I'm still going to use a blender brush, but it's going to be a little less fluffy than the Morphe one. So this is the MAC 217, so you can see it's still a blender brush, but it's just a little bit more precise. So this color Double Tap is like a maroon, beautiful purple color. Oh, it's so, so, so pretty. So I'm going to apply this to the, not all the way into the corner of my eye. I don't know why I said that. Like I was so frustrated with it. But pretty much like to right here. So probably 2/3 of my crease, I'm going to apply that and really, really blend it out. Not quite as high up as the color Millennial, but I do want to blend it. I don't want it to be like a stark crease color, if that makes any sense. Okay, so just like that, so you can see with and without, and it's just a little bit for now. Right after this, I'm gonna go in with a more precise blending brush and make it like a deeper, darker color, but this is just to get it started. Okay, so now that we got that color just kind of on there, I wanna add more depth and definition. So I'm gonna use the same exact color Double Tap, and I'm going to use a more skinny, more precise, so you can see I'm kind of working my way down. I started with a big fluffy one, here's the middle ground, and this one's even more small, more tiny, more precise. So I'm gonna go in with that and really pack on the color, but really just to this 1/3 like outer portion of my eye. and drag it up so you can see it even when your eyes are open. So this is hard to see because of the angle of my camera, but like, you know, when you look up, I want to be able to see it even when your eyes are open, not just when they're closed. So I do that by kind of tapping my brush like this instead of swiping, and then I drag it up. Okay, so now you can see the difference and how huge of a difference that really made. So you can see this one has more, it's more defined on the outer 1/3, and here's without it. So I'm gonna go in and do the same thing to the other eye. You can see just how amazing these powders are. I have 0 fallout, and this is a pretty dark color. I mean, it's almost black, and I have 0 fallout with this particular shade, and all of these shades really. So really, really, really good pigmentation, and they're powdery, but they don't have a lot of fallout. They're just amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to do my lower lash line, and then there's a couple more steps, so almost done. Almost, with the shadow. So I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush. This is the MAC 219 pencil brush. Into that color double tap. This is a smoky eye look, so I want to really make sure my lash line is smoky as well. And this is what I always can't seem to get into the camera. There we go. Oh yeah, you can see that. So I'm going to apply this to my lower lash line and really kind of drag it down and make it super smoky. Okay, so I know it looks scary, but that's okay. It's not gonna stay scary. So now you can see the lower lash line matches the like upper lid. Now I'm gonna go in with the same pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into the color Sin City, which is that black. I think it's a matte black. Yeah, it's matte. I thought it had maybe some sugar in it, but I think it was just some powder from the others. So I'm gonna go in with this pencil brush, and I'm really gonna define this outer V. So I'm really gonna draw an actual V. So just like that, I'm just drawing an actual V on the outer part of my eye, and then I'm gonna go in and blend it out with a different brush. So I'm just applying the V, just like that. Then I'm gonna go back with the same brush that I applied the burgundy color with, which by the way is a Morphe M433. I don't know if I said that before. And I'm just gonna tap it and blend it. And this is really gonna add that smoky element to the eyes. All right, now once we have that black color on, it's time to blend everything out, because right now it looks good, but it's a little bit harsh. So I'm gonna go in with a clean Sigma tapered blending E40 brush and just really focus on these outer edges of the color and make sure everything is kind of just like blended and not too harsh. I don't want this to look, you know, costumey. I want it to be a nice, pretty, smoky eye. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta blend it all out. Blend it all together, blend it all out. Make sure that it's nice and diffused. Okay, and if you want your line of your makeup to be like really precise, I go in with it's actually a dirty beauty blender, and I just kind of draw it out. That is how I create a pointy, sharp, precise line. I know some people use tape, but I had already done my face makeup, and in fact, I usually always do my face makeup first, so this is how I get that line. It's with a beauty blender. Who would have thunk it, right? Works great. So I'm gonna go in with this color Chandelier, which is, I don't know if it's quite matte. I think there's a slight sheen to it, but it's not glittery. It's not quite as sheeny as #selfie is. So I'm just gonna kind of draw right underneath my brow and also blend it into the rest of the colors. Now we're moving on to eyeliner, and for this look you definitely want to use black. If you use brown, it's gonna look a little bit funny, so you definitely want to use black. I used in that look, and I'm going to use today, the Dior Show Kohl eyeliner. So this you can see is like, it's not your typical eyeliner. It's fat, it's almost like a eyeshadow pencil, but I use it as an eyeliner. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I'm gonna go ahead and just draw on my upper lash line and my lower waterline. And then I'm gonna do like I always do and smoke it out. So I smoke it out with, where's my smoky brush? Here it is. So I'm gonna go in after I draw those lines on and smoke it out with a Sephora Pro Smudge number 11 brush. Okay, now it's time for lashes, and for this look, I did use false lashes, so I am going to do that again today, even though, like, false lashes, I love them and I hate them, like, they're so hard for me to put on. But before I do that, before I even think about doing that, I do have to put some regular mascara on, and that's because my eyelashes are blonde, and so if I put falsies on without putting mascara on first, you could see my lashes. So I'm just gonna go in with one coat, nothing crazy, of the YSL Baby Doll mascara. This literally is just to make sure my eyelashes are not blonde. It doesn't matter what mascara you use, really. All right, and I don't recall what lashes I wore, but they were something similar to this. So this is the Ardell number 333. They're just natural, it's nothing crazy. It's just a little bit of lash. So I put those on with the, right here, the Ardell Lash Grip Lash Adhesive Glue. So while those are drying, I like to go in with a liquid eyeliner. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo. Actually, you know what? I need to make sure this isn't dried out. Okay, it's not dried out. And I just draw over the bands to kind of like hide the band of the eyelashes. But I actually got these pretty close to my lash line. I am very proud of myself. But anyways, this just kind of fills in the gaps and colors in any of the white glue that you may happen to see. Alright, and that is it. That is the finished eye look, and in fact, let me zoom in so you can see it. So here's what it looks like. There's what the shadow looks like. I have to say I'm super proud of this lash application. I just can't get over it, but this is what it looks like, and this is the look that I was wearing in that video. Alright guys, well stay tuned for the cheek portion of this tutorial in my next video next week. I think I'm gonna post it on Monday, but stay tuned. I will post it very, very soon so you can see how I got the luminous glowy cheeks in that video. And that is it. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any more requests for tutorials, please let me know. I really want to get into doing more tutorials on my channel. I feel like I don't do too many of them now, and I really do want to start doing more. So let me know what you want to see down below. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye guys!